Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we were sort of in the middle of things before the break. Let's see here, when we last left our dashing coders. Right, we sort of done a little bit of refactoring. We had filled out some more stuff, but now we're seeing two errors, two failing tests. Our no classes print description of student is now failing where it didn't used to. Let's see if we can drill into the differences there. Okay, what are we seeing here? We're now seeing that I expected it to print out 3.64 and it's getting 0.0. So we're not getting the GPA right. So let's go look at our code. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so let's see here. Name has a GPA of a GPA. You know, actually here, let's do something. Let's run the debugger. So let's see here. I know from my test that was being written to standard out ought to be something else, and so let's put a breakpoint in student.toString. And so the way I put a breakpoint in IntelliJ is I click over here. This puts a breakpoint, and then I think what I can do is I can right-click on the name of this failing test. I can say debug this one failing test, which is Control-Shift F9. I'll remember that. Okay, so I'll debug it. This launches it in the debugger. Okay, so the debugger has stopped at this breakpoint, and now I can examine what's going on. Sure enough, my GPA is 0. That's not what I want. I thought I passed in. If I go back to my test, I thought I passed in. Oops, if I go back to my test, there we go. I thought I passed in a GPA of 3.64. What's going wrong here? Why is my GPA 0? All right, yeah, those warnings. Yeah, GPA is not being used. Okay, so, okay, right, I've got GPA, but, oh yeah, I never initialized it. And oh yeah, why is it all grayed out? I guess it's not telling me what the warning is. Maybe it will over here. What is it saying? Private field GPA is never signed. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I need to listen to IntelliJ. Okay, so now I need to do the GPA field, and so I say GPA. Oops. GPA equals GPA. That's what I was saying here. You know, I'm going to stop debugging so it starts telling me what these things are. Oh, right. Variable GPA is assigned to itself. This should not be the variable GPA. It should be the field GPA. I'll just say this dot GPA. Okay, happier. And let's get rid of some of these warnings. So this dot classes. Oops. Oh, I guess I don't have a this dot classes. You know what? I don't need it yet. I'm not going to do it. This dot gender. Well, actually, I don't need gender yet either. So, oh, gender. That reminds me. I need to have some tests about gender. So I don't even know what that means. Test some things about gender. Right? Okay. I don't know. Okay, so this dot GPA equals GPA. Okay. And now I've assigned that there. So now in the toString method, GPA should have the value that I expect. Okay. Let's try it one more time. What does it say? Run only tests that have failed crash after last run. Let's do that. Oh, I'm debugging. I don't want to debug anymore. Stop. Just go ahead and rerun things. Go to the Run tab and rerun everybody again. Oh, shoot. Green. So both the tests pass. Okay, so I've got them from red, green, refactor. Well, let me look at the classes here. The tests here. I think I'm okay with these right now. I'm starting to see some duplicate code, but I think I'm okay leaving them the way it is. Let's look at student. Is there anything that we can refactor? You didn't really make that many changes. You can see the changes there. I think I want to put some space here between that. I know I have more to do here in the constructor. I'm going to resist the urge to make more changes now because I really want to go piecemeal, take baby steps here. Okay, that, you know what? Oh, that string concatenation. I don't know if I like that much. I find, well, I want to try something, and I'll let you be the judge of what you think is easier. But yeah, okay. So there's string concatenation like this, but there's also string.format, which you can do like printf or sprintf in C, or you can put a format string. So you tell me which one you like better. Oops. So instead of doing this, I can say %s for a string. I can say % f for float, and %s again. I need to leave that there. I need to get rid of this. And this is %s. And oops, I'm just going to delete that, I guess. And oh, it's highlighted in yellow. Too few arguments for a format string, blah. Okay, that's absolutely right. I need to add some format ones. So name, GPA, and says. What do you think? Better like that or better the other way? Meh. Either way, yeah. Honestly, I have no way. Now, oh, here's a neat little trick. So I get, you know what? Now I look at this, I don't like it so much. I don't want to revert the whole thing. What I really want to do is I just want to go back in time like 30 seconds. I can just undo it, I guess. But excuse me. There's also something in IntelliJ called the local history, and IntelliJ keeps track of changes that you made. And oh, look at this, test pass student. And so basically, you can go back in time. This is just local file system changes, no version control or anything like that, and you get that same kind of diff. So actually, can I make this a little more narrow so we can see? There you go. And now I can just use this here to return it to where it was before. Yay! Good deal. Okay, so I'll use string concatenation for now. Yeah, I still like it. Anything else you want to refactor? Still not feeling super awesome about this code, but I want to explore what we need to do using test-driven development instead of just sort of guessing. No? Happy with it? Nah, good enough for now. Let's run the test one more time before we commit. Okay. Everybody's happy, and let's see here. What did we do here? It's been so long since we started, I've forgotten. So let's look at the diff. Side by side. Yeah, if my screen resolution was a little bigger, I think we'd be able to see it better. So we add support for GPA. We did some refactoring, some moving around of code. Oops, come on, scroll, babies. Oh, that's the end. Okay, that's the end. Yep. Okay, so we added support for GPA. We didn't even change any unit tests. All we did was change the student. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so we'll just commit these changes, and we'll just say added support for reading the GPA from the command line. Commit. 2 warnings. I'm going to take a look at those warnings because the last time we had warnings, they were pretty useful. What are... Oh, okay, it's these guys again, classes and gender. Okay, I'll get there. We'll get there. Boy, I should probably really fix that. Okay, so add support for reading GPA to the command line. Okay, we're just going to commit it. And by the way, I'm doing is commit, not commit and push. Remember what the difference was between commit and push? Commit commits things locally to your local repository. Push will commit to, and then push will push the contents of your local repository out to GitHub or whatever your remote Git repository is. Okay. Yes, I'm serious this time. Okay. Okay, back to our tests. Okay, so we've got a couple of ignored. I don't think we're ready to unignore this one, but let's look at GPA. We're sort of talking about GPA. Let's add another test. So, okay. Invalid double for GPA print. Oops, this is not the Incredible Hulk speaking. Prints Hulk smash. Hulk refactor. Anyway, okay. So invalid double. I'm going to main method result equals invoke main. What are my arguments here? So I want invalid GPA. Dave mail. So we'll do that. And then what would be an invalid GPA? Negative number. Okay. Okay. That more. Tell me more. Negative what? Okay. -2. Okay. And what should it print out? Or what should happen, I guess. It prints invalid GPA to standard error. Okay. So assert that what? Result.getError contains string invalid GPA. Should be fancy and say invalid GPA -2. Okay. Let's make it red. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna hide. Is that what this does? Hide past tests. There you go. Okay, now I can focus on the things that are broken. Okay, yep, sure enough, I expected that a string containing this. Instead, I got empty. Okay.
Invalidate,
Sorry, what?
Invalidate.
Oh yeah, right. Thank you. Good job. Speak up. Okay, invalid. Okay, so what do I need to do here? Let's go back to my main. You know what we're not seeing? Okay, so here's something. We're doing all of this running of the command line from the unit tests, but I want to know what this actually prints out. So what I'm going to do is I want to run this main program here. And so I want to say run, no, not with coverage, I just want to say run student.main. And it's running it. Okay, it tells me that they're missing command line arguments. Now I want to specify the command line arguments. The way I do that is I edit the configuration. Student, I want the command line options to be, in this case, what? Dave, mail, and then -2. Oh, wait, that's not right. Those are VM options. I want program arguments. And what is this? Oh, lets me see it one line at a time. That's pretty cool. Okay, and so now I want to run that again. Oh, wow. Okay, right. So it just prints out. It doesn't complain at all. Okay, so what should we do there? So what should we do?
You have to try first, or is that not?
You know, it looked like it parsed it okay, right? Because it got all the way to printing out the two strings. So I think it parsed it okay. So it's like valid. Maybe like valid is the wrong word then. So it's like it's negative. We could be more specific. Let's be more specific. So let's just say negative GPA and negative GPA prints invalid GPA to standard error. Okay, so how do we get it to do that? Oops.
Wouldn't you need a new case? Case 4 if GPA.
Well, case 4 would be like args.length equals 4. So, well, we put the GPA here. Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, we could put the validation here. Let's see here. It says student's grade point average. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of an interesting thing, right? Okay, so we're validating input. Where should the validation happen?
I like it as soon as you could possibly know, because then you're not doing more processes than necessary.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
It's nice when you hit submit that it says, hey, you can't go any further.
Okay. So let's see, where should we do that then? So where should we validate? Should we validate here in the constructor? Should we validate main? Validate before we go for the, now we kind of have to do that.
clutter up mainly, do it in constructor.
Do constructor? Okay. So GPA. Okay, so let's see here. Probably want to do it before we assign it though. So what do we want to say? If GPA less than 0,
Yeah.
then do what?
That error message, just without error.
Ah, right. Okay. I think we had a whole like method for that, right? It was like print error message and exit, and then what was it invalid? Got to get it right here. All caps GPA. Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see what this says. Okay, yeah, that's a little more promising. Looks like we got that. Now let's run the tests again. Oops. Let's run all of them just for the sake of it. Okay, and that passed. Okay, we were red, now we're green, now we're refactoring. So, I gotta admit, from my point of view, there's something that I don't like about doing the validation like this in the constructor, but I'm not too sure why. I think the thing that bothers me the most is that this whole print error message and exit, it's like, does the constructor really need to know about that? Does the, I mean, and I think there might be other command line, well, let's leave it this way for now. I think maybe if I were doing it, I would put this logic in the main method, but it kind of is a toss-up, right? Between, you know, where is the responsibility for validating it? I can definitely see where, I can definitely see where you want that validation logic close to the student, because like the student should control what is and what is not valid. You know what? Here's I think what I would do. You know what? Okay, let's checkpoint it, and because I might make some. Follow me along on this. So let's commit changes, and what did we do? We added GPA validation for negative GPAs. But that would suck to have a negative GPA, wouldn't it? Okay. Yeah, same two warnings. Yeah, we know about you. Okay. So, like, the thing I don't like about this code. The thing I do like about this code is that the validation logic is nice and close to the student. So, like, the student controls it. The thing I don't like about it is the fact that the student is responsible for like printing out the error message and exiting. So, like for instance, let's say that I wasn't using the student class from a command line program. Let's say I was using it from like a web UI or a GUI or something like that. Printing the error message to standard out, they're not going to see that, right? So I think that's why I don't like having it here. Okay, so maybe this is overkill. Let's give it a try. How about instead we do something like the following. Instead of printing the error message and exited, what if we threw an exception? New, well, it's kind of an illegal argument exception. And this is a standard Java exception. It's Java Lang, whatever it is. Well, it's Java Lang argument, legal argument exception. And so, okay, I'm going to throw that here instead. And I should probably, now it's a runtime exception. It's a unchecked exception. I should probably document though. Oops, and IntelliJ doesn't like my text formatting apparently. Illegal argument exception. When, let's be. GPA is negative. Okay, so now I've thrown it here. Now, okay, so I've thrown my illegal argument exception. Let's rerun my tests. Okay, what happened here? Error while invoking main. Oh yeah, I threw an illegal argument exception. Well, this is not what we want, right? I mean, like if we run our main, What does the user see on the command line? Big ugly stack trace. Not graceful. Okay, let's go back and fix that. So how are we going to fix that?
It's unchecked, so you don't want to catch it, right? Is that what
Well, I think you actually do want to catch it.
you do?
Yeah.
What are the, I just saw it briefly in the last screencast.
Mhm.
Unchecked versus checked.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, so this is an unchecked exception. And that's the thing. Originally, you didn't want to catch unchecked exceptions because unchecked exceptions were things like null pointer exception or usually your code screwed up exception, basically, right? This is more like saying the code was called with the wrong thing. Maybe we shouldn't use that exception then. Maybe that's the wrong exception to use. Let's create an exception of our own. Well, it's like illegal student argument exception. Gosh, is it really worth like adding our own exception type just for this?
I think you can reuse it for.
Other validation? Okay, yeah, you convinced me. Okay, it's this. Okay, and so now I will use what is that? Option or Alt Enter to correct it. It says, okay, create class illegal student argument exception. Sure. In my package. Sure. Do I want to add to Git? Yes, IntelliJ, thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. And this will be message. And then let's see here. You say super. Super? What arguments do I have here? Oh, I have message. Okay. So message there. Okay, and so you know what? I like to just add a quick little comment. This is, yeah. You know what? It's pretty obvious, I hope by the name, that it's like, it's thrown when the arguments to the student constructor are not thrown. So here. And I could extend throwable, but I just want to extend exception because why do I want to do that? Well, to say that, yeah, extending throwable, I don't know. This just always feels better to me. Don't have a good answer for that. Oh, note that look up here, the color of this file up here is green, meaning that it's been added to version control but hasn't been committed. And blue means that it's been modified but not committed, and then black means that it hasn't been modified at all. Okay, so, oh, it's complaining about something. What is it complaining about? Unhandled exception. Absolutely right. So Alt-Enter, help me, IntelliJ, you're my only hope. Add exception to method signature, surround try catch. I want to add to the method signature. Too bad it does it off screen. There you go. Okay. And now instead of a legal argument exception, I want to be a legal student argument exception. I don't need a fully qualified path. Thank you very much. Hard enough to read as it is. Okay. Okay. So there you go. That's a little better. So now we have a checked exception. And oh look, I'm still underlined in red. I'm red over here. What is it saying? Unhandled exception, legal student argument exception. Okay, just what we wanted. Okay, so now we got to handle it, and that's good. Here, I don't want to rethrow it. I want to surround it with a try catch. Okay, and what do I want to do here? What is it complaining about? Oh, it's empty. Okay, what is this complaining about? May produce null pointer exception. Yeah. Okay, well, here's what I want to do. I want to print the error message and exit for e.getMessage. And it's complaining here that yeah. Now it's definitely complaining. Okay, so IntelliJ/Java compiler isn't smart enough to know that this is dead code. I'm just going to add a return here, and now it's happy. Understand what just happened there? Okay, you're all nodding yes. Those of you watching at home can rewind. Okay. And remember, those of you who are here can rewind too. You've got that remote. So the pause, the fast forward, the rewind. Okay. Okay. Well, everything's compiling. Is there anything else we need to do before we run it again? Let's run the tests. Actually, I'll run my main method just to see what happens. That looks pretty good. I'll rerun my unit tests. Hey, everything's just making sure. Yep, everything's passing. Okay, that was kind of a nice refactor. I like that. Yeah. Changes. So I got two files. One of it is the new added one. The other one is the student one. You know, the kind of thing I like about this is that you know you refactored because you didn't change your test. You just changed your source code. So okay, use an exception to communicate invalid arguments to the student constructor. Nice. Okay, yeah. I gotta get rid of those warnings sometime. Okay. This is theater, isn't it? Okay. I'm enjoying myself. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Okay, we've read green refactored. Let's get red again. Gender. Yeah, we haven't paid gender too much attention. There's got to be something we can test about gender. What should we test about gender? Test missing gender, I suppose. What are our choices for gender? Oh, yeah, duh. Okay. Okay. So wait. What did that tell me? What?
Undecided.
Undecided. Yes.
Prefer not to answer.
Exercise left up to the student. Yes. Okay. Okay. So great. There must be something that we can test here. What should we test? Well, I guess female, right? So we should probably have a test which is like create a valid male student, create a valid female student. Okay. So male student prints description. Oops. Prints description to standard output. Okay, which it's kind of a duplicate, but I don't mind having another one. Oops, this is not a good example to copy though. Let's just do this one. I suppose I could just have. Shoot, is this wasteful? We've already got the same test case. Yeah, forget it. Female student. Davida. No, let's call it. It's my wife's name, Angela. Female. She's smarter than I am. She gets a 4.0 GPA. Okay, so what should it say?
He said we should change the
Right, good point. She says. What? Oh, yeah, good point. 4.0. It's taking 0 classes. Okay, let's give it a whirl. See what happens. Okay, well, everything else passed, but okay, this guy didn't. Not okay. This is good. So hard to read. Okay, Angela has a GPA. Okay. He and she seems to be the only difference here. Okay, so now what do we need to do? Well, let's see here. The string is wrong, so the description is wrong, so let's go back to toString. Okay, obviously this needs to change. Okay. What do we need to do here?
Create an if case.
Okay.
So then you'd have if male, print this, if female, print this.
What? No, that's not the rules, right? You need to have this gender-sensitive pronoun. Okay, so how will we do the following? So yeah, so now this value right here is going to be dependent on the gender. So I'm going to extract a variable. I'm going to call it gender-based pronoun. Why not? Okay. And now I want to say what? If, oops, what am I doing there? Yeah, let's use a ternary operator and see what we get. Gender, I don't have a gender yet. If this dot gender equals male, then he, otherwise she. Okay, I wasn't liking this. Probably complaining about that thing. Okay, I want to create a field, again using Alt-Enter to help me out there. Gender, what was it complaining about? Never assigned, right. Let's do that here. This dot gender equals gender. Something's still red, what doesn't it like? Yep, what's it complaining about? Oh, I got the syntax backwards. Okay, how does that look?
Looks good. You can have upper lowercase problems.
Ooh, upper and lowercase problem? Upper and lowercase problems. More things to test. Upper and lower. Oh, sorry, what? Upper and lowercase?
You know, like if the gender starts with a capital M or a lowercase m.
Ah, okay. Be sure to test that. Is there something glaringly wrong here?
On line 64, you're testing for capital M, and the test cases above, you're spelling out the lowercase m.
Ooh, good point. Look better?
Sure.
Okay, now let's run it. Ah, looks like I passed. Okay. Quick commit. Handle female students. Actually, I don't like that message. Print. Oh yeah, gosh, I totally don't like that. It's the kind of thing that gets me on the Fox 12 News. Local adjunct professor. Damn it. Okay. Print a gender-sensitive, gender-specific pronoun in the student description. Yeah. Okay. Heavy sigh. I know. No errors in one warning. Oh, no, I'm curious. Oh yeah, classes. We still got to do. Oh my goodness, test-driven development takes forever. Okay, I'm coming home. I'm coming. Okay. Yes, commit. Okay. Okay, gender. So student's gender, male or female, case insensitive. I think you're onto something there. I think we missed some things. I think we need to test some more about this case insensitive gender, right? Because I mean that we should be, because it's case sensitive. Void all. Oh, here's uppercase. Uppercase female student prints. Oops. Again with the Incredible Hulk. Yes. Prints description to standard output, which is essentially this test again. But now instead of little f female, it should be, oops, capital F female. Let's try that. Oh, that passed. Really? Why did that pass? Are you surprised by that? I'm surprised by that.
Else clause,
What was that?
the turnaround operator, the way you run the conversion.
Oh, nice, nice, very good. Why did that? So why did that pass? Right here again, this is why it's always important to make sure that you're. Oh, I'm good. I'm lucky. This is why it's always important to make sure that your test fails before going to implement it. Right? I thought I was writing a failing test, and then it turns out that I didn't. Oofed. This is kind of scary. And it's like, well, why is that? Well, because look, the way that I wrote it, if I have capital F female, well, it just defaults to she. I guess that's the right thing to do, but I still don't feel my logic's right here. So let's write a test that will fail. capital M male should fail, right? Wow, that's disconcerting. Uppercase male student. Oh, actually, and let me go back to this guy. Now let's run it again. Okay, filter the passing ones. Okay, now uppercase male. Let's look at the difference. Okay, didn't get the gender right. Okay. Okay, so what do we need to do here differently?
Could you make a statement where male is the same as capital male?
Yeah, I could do something like gender dot to uppercase equals male or something like that. But I think I just happen to know there's an equal ignore case, which I think should work. Okay.
How does, can you explain that one a little?
How do I know that it exists, or what?
Well, what does, I've never heard of it. What does it do?
What does it do? There's a way. How do I? Oh, there's a way to get the Java doc, but it's not Alt F1. Control. No.
Okay, I can look that up.
Oh, there it was. It is. That's messed up. Command F1? Had something to do with F1. Yeah. How do you know this? Okay. Well. Okay. So then, how did I find out about it? Well, you can do what is that? Control space, and it'll show you all of the methods. And I think it's actually even smart enough to say, it looks like you're in the middle of a Boolean expression. Here are all the methods that return Booleans, and so you can sort of like browse through them like this. And then there's always reading the Java docs too. That will help familiarize yourself. Yeah. Okay. Did I start the timer? Okay. Well, it's almost time for a break. Well, let's okay. A couple more tests for gender, and then let's start. Okay. So I'll run this again. Okay. Now it's happy. So just one more quick commit, and say handle case insensitive genders. Good. Okay. Almost there. So I'm curious, what happens if, because when we talked about that, we had that invalid gender before, and we just gave it a negative gender. Let's see what happens with something like the following: public void invalid. And by invalid, I mean like neither male nor female. Invalid gender prints invalid gender to standard error. So what happens when I have something like MMR, main method result, equals invoke main with David and what, turtle? Turtle. And then a valid GPA of whatever, 3.64. What should happen here?
It should go, what are you thinking?
Sorry, what?
It will, but it's not what it should do.
Oh, equal to, actually, no, wait, contains string and then say invalid gender turtle. Yeah, seem reasonable. Print invalid turtle standard error. Or invalid gender turtle. We're getting weird, time for a break. Okay, inventing new genders. Run all of our tests. It's failing. Okay, nothing was printed. That's wrong. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to validate the gender. We decided that we'd validate things up here in our constructor. Let's validate the gender in our constructor. What do we want to say? If it's either one of those, then we'll go ahead and assign it. Otherwise, what are we going to do if it's invalid? Yeah, that's where I always forget. Gender. No, it's down here, isn't it? Invalid gender. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Yay! Okay. Red, green, refactor. Sorry, question? No, okay. Made those changes. You know, when I was looking at the I guess so. There's a rule of thumb that sort of says that you should have a method that's longer than a screen. If it won't fit on the screen, actually, some people say you should have a method that's like longer than 5 lines, but I'm not quite there yet. This one is okay, but it's starting to get bigger. Oh, I know what I was going to do. So, once these variables are assigned in the constructor, do they ever change? I mean, there's no way to change a student's GPA or gender or its name. Well, name is not initialized here. I think I want to make these fields final. To sort of encode that. Oops. There we go. Everything's still compiling. Still warning me about, yeah, that guy. This right here, I want to move that logic out into its own method. Do I? No, I guess it's okay because really this he and she is really quite localized, just a 2-string. So I think we're okay. Okay, well, I don't see anything else that could use refactoring. How about you guys? Anything else that jumps out? Okay, okay. Let's shoot. What did we just do here? Oh yeah, we validated the validate that gender is either male or female, case insensitive. Okay. Commit. Got one warning. Go ahead and commit. Any other tests that we need to do related to gender?
Could be broken. RS, never mind.
Nope.
Specific to material.
All right. I think we're good. You guys think we're good? Okay. I think it's time for a break then. Come back and let's finish this up.